What's up guys? Welcome back to another one, Punchman, the strongest YouTube video. For today's video, we are doing a new updated tier list with of course the new limited SSRs in the game. So first of all guys, I want you to know that this tier list is based on my own accord and of course my own experience in having these characters in my account, and of course you guys might have your own comments or your suggestions of who are the best or who are the S tiers, A tiers, and of course who are not good SSRs at all. But of course we will make or I will make the best tier list out there based on what I know and of course based on my own knowledge. So let's start the video guys. So first of all, we will start with Aloy. So Aloy is a good character that deals injury and of course have a cross-like damage with his ultimate. So of course guys, this guy is amazing during the Zombie Man era, but of course right now he is still not out right now. So of course, I am going to say that Aloy is in the B tier, which is, of course, for me is decent. And then let's move on to the best for me. One of the best AoE characters in the game, which is Atomic Samurai. So I will put Atomic Samurai in S tier because he is a good AoE damage and of course he does follow up with his fellow duelist characters in a team fight. So of course, Atomic Samurai is one of the rarest characters to get in the game, especially that the rate of getting him is practically a 1% below percentage. But of course, if you get Atomic Samurai, he is amazing in terms of PvE and PvP. So of course, in terms of PvE, he is good in a 6v6 instances in normal and of course in elite. So now we have here is Borus, which is a free limited SSR guys. So of course this guy is free but still we will rate him as a A. He is A tier. Why? Because of course he is good mostly in PvE, club bosses, and not in terms of PvP. So we base our tier list maybe in being the best in PvE and PvP. So of course, Borus as an Esper that deals a lot of damage and is a single target character, he will be in the A tier as being the best in terms of PvE. So now let's move on to DSK or Deep Seeking. And of course, I will put him in the S tier. Why? Because he is a core. So it's hard to come by good cores, especially not getting your Child Emperor, Genus, and if you still have Genus, the robot one, not the robot one, if you still have the robot one and you don't have Dr. Genus, then it's pretty hard to progress in the game, especially that you don't have a good core. But if you did get DSK, then you will do better or you might do better in terms of your progress. And of course, we have just recently added in our album, we have of course King. So King is for now, is one of the best characters in the game. Why? Of course, because of being a seal character, he does heal, and of course, a AoE burst character. So of course, guys, as you can see, if you are in the game and you have King, then of course you can see the number 1 or 111 damage. But of course, after that, he deals a lot of damage, which can be said to be a one-man target or a one-man team damage to the enemy. So of course guys, he is a tier list as he is the new LSSR in the game. So of course, let's move on and let's see CE. Of course, I will put him in the S tier. Why? Again, he is a core. He gives a lot of energy, and of course, he has the shatter and stun percentage, which will be amazing in terms of PvE and of course in PvP. So it might not be really effective as like in a PvP setup, but of course the percentage, the stun, the shatter will be effective too in doing damage in the instances in normal and elite. So now let's have Carnage Kabuto. So of course Carnage Kabuto is one of the best characters in the game, which I say to you guys, he is a S tier character. Why? Of course, based on what we know, CK does a lot of reflect. Yes, of course, with CK in your team, a one burst team is nothing if you have plenty of HP and of course you have a source of healing, especially that suit gives that kind of additional damage to CK. But of course, we are still in the era of purple gears in terms of suit. So but if you finish Giryu, then you might get a chance to have a suit that is pretty much amazing for CK. So of course CK is an S tier because of the reflect and of course of being a tank. So now let's move on to a pay to win character, which is of course we have G4. So G4 is most likely like Sonic. But of course, G4 is much better in terms of damage. He does a lot of damage. He has a shield and of course, he increases his damage to himself. But then again, he is only good in terms of PvE. That's why I will rate him as an A tier. So now, let's move on to this guy, the Octopus One. So my comment is just go to D. He is straight up D. I don't like him, and of course he does have seal and other stuff, but I don't really like him. And of course he is not, for me he is not useful in any team composition. That is all. The direct answer. So now let's move on. So why? So this decision will be pretty, of course, pretty doubtful and of course will blow your mind. Why? Because I will put Guribas in D tier. Why? He will use a lot of gems. Basically getting 80 shards to summon him, and it's pretty hard to summon this dude unless you are pay to win, a massive whale, or even really focus on a DOT team, which is amazing for me. But of course, for those who are not paying in the game and who are just free to pay or free to play, then of course, Guribas is really not ideal for you guys. You can just save those gems, wait for a BT or new LSSR, pull, and then get better characters. And of course, with those gems, you can get even KS of a certain character. So now, let's move on to Melza. So this decision, guys, is actually based on if you get him or not. So if you get him early, you get lucky, you summon him in the superb ticket, through superb ticket, then of course, I'll go for C. That is the best I can. Why? He does a lot. Does healing. That's all I think. And then he has a passive of sharing the damage in your lineup, which might be pretty amazing soon. But of course, this early on the game, he is really not that good. So let's move on, and of course, let's talk about the MK or Metal Knight. But then again, he is out like, I mean, a month ago. But of course, we will still rate him, and he is in the B tier. Why? Of course, some of you guys might not really agree with me, but of course, he is a B tier. Why? He is only good in terms of PvP, and he does burn, and actually that is all. I can't really see MK fitting in a lineup that much, especially that he is one of the worst limited SSR in the game. But of course, if you got him, good, but I won't recommend using him. And then we will move into Puri Puri Prisoner. But of course, some will say he is good, some will say he is not, and most of you guys will agree with me that he is one of the worst SSR in the game. So I won't really explain it, but he is really not good. That is just plain direct answer. But then again, we move to Subterranean King. I will put him maybe in B or C, but of course, just let's move him. Okay, so that's it. That's it. Let's move him to B tier. Why? Because he is a good combo with Atomic Samurai. He does follow up again if the character has burn, and of course he burns character with a great amount of burn. But then again, he is in B tier. And then let's talk about Sonic. So based on my knowledge, of course, I would say he is in B tier or even A if you are considering really using him only for PvP. I mean PvE. He is really great in terms of PvE but sucks in terms of PvP. You might use him just like my opponent to attack or kill my GB who is in the front. But then again, if the team composition changes every single minute with an active player, then Sonic might not be good. But then again, the final decision for me in terms of PvE focus, I might say, of course, let's put him in the B tier. Or let's just move him up. Let's go put him in A tier. Of course, some of you will be like, what? But of course, that's my decision. It's my own tier list. But of course, you guys can suggest in the comment below if what you think, or I might consider to think in my mind to change the tier list. But then again, this is my own tier list, and you can just message me directly and to why you think that a certain character might be moved up or moved down. So let's move on and let's talk about TTM. Of course, for me, some of you guys will say that this TTM is that. But then again, I will tell you TTM is in the S tier. Why? Because in terms of getting him, you can get him just pulling for 20 times. So you get him for free, most likely for free. And of course, he does a lot of damage. And of course, provide you with shield in front and is a great tank. So of course, having a tank is great in your lineup, especially if you don't have CK. In terms of my lineup, I don't have CK. That's why TTM is a good or an S tier character which provide you with, of course, another or provides you with shield and lasts longer in team battle. But then again, it's my decision. So let's move on. Of course, we are here with my favorite character. My favorite character is here. We are going to talk about Tatsumami. Tatsumami is automatically in the S tier. I might even change it to this one and put Tatsumaki in the first place, guys. We might do it like this. Why? Tatsumaki does a lot of damage. An Esper, which is good with Borus during the Zombie Man era. And of course, she is an AoE character that has 50% of dealing injury. And of course, he is kind of sexy. So guys, that's my commentary based on my Tatsumami. And of course, it is based on my account, which has her for a 4-star character, and she is carrying me in terms of PvP and in PvE. For those who does not like Tatsumami, I don't know, guys. I really don't know. So let's move on and let's just finish this tier list. And of course, I want you guys to comment down below what you think about this tier list. So last but not the least, of course, we have Vaccine Man. Vaccine Man is good in a DOT team, which is damage over time, which means that he goes great with CK. But I will put him in B tier because he will fall out. I promise you guys. He will fall out. VM, especially with SK, you can get the SK, CK, and of course, you have Borus right now. Maybe if you are really going into a full DOT team, then Vaccine Man can fill in the space. But of course, for me, Vaccine Man is only a B tier character. But then again, you guys can base your thoughts. You guys can comment down below. And of course, let me know. And of course, if you will change my mind, I will do another tier list for you guys, especially with new limited SSRs out there. So guys, thank you yet again for continuing to support my channel and of course watching my content. And of course, I hope you guys will join our growing community. I want to see you guys in my YouTube community for me to communicate with you guys, for me to know what are your thoughts, and of course, for me to know what contents you want me to do, especially that a lot of knowledge is going into my mind. So guys, thank you again for your support. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you on my next video.